following announcement has been paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hello, ladies. Remember me? Let me talk to you, dummies.
It's now time
It's beer time. TikTok.
It's showtime!
for the longest running wrestling talk show in history.
We are huge. It's gonna be cool.
You're where it's at.
You smell like me.
Tune in each and every week.
You better keep listening, or I'll come out of your computer
And turn it on for you.
or else I'm gonna kick your stinking teeth in.
We've been known by a few names.
The needs of the many far outweigh the needs of the few.
The Interactive Interview,
Interactive interview. Oh, yeah.
Interactive interview.
The interactive interview. Interactive interview. The interactive interview.
Interactive Wrestling Radio,
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Interactive radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
The Blaze,
Blaze 1260 AM.
The Blaze.
The Blaze.
Blaze. The Blaze Rock.
and a lot of other names.
Weekend Weird of Wrestling. The Pile Driver. The Epa Wrestling Center.
3 Count Wrestling.
The Hours Lab.
But it's all one show, the Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter. The Wrestling Epicenter.
The Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter, dude. The Wrestling Epicenter. Don't get off.
And your host from day one,
By ignorance or arrogance.
James Walsh.
Wake up, sleepyheads.
Dr. Carol House.
It all starts
What a rush. Oh, Boomer Sooner.
Thank you very much.
I got 2 words for you. Thumbs down. Breaking necks and cashing checks. Burn. I've heard a lot about you guys.
Check it out. Get out of my face. You win!
But I'm desperately out of time!
So what you gonna do when Blaze-a-mania runs wild on you?
now.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Interactive Wrestling Radio right here on WrestlingEpicenter.com. It is I, your master of ceremonies, James Walsh, joining you here once again to welcome you to our EC3 interview. He is on to promote his match, Sunday night pay-per-view, Ring of Honor, Best in the World, where he faces Flip Gordon. Hope you guys enjoy this interview. I will tell you that we were given a time frame of about 15 minutes of availability. We tried to stick within it, so if you're curious why we didn't ask him about the great match he had with Rockstar Spud with the hair versus hair in the O2 Arena in London, that's why. And as much as I'd love to do that kind of thing and do the Chris Farley, hey, remember when you were with the Beatles? That was awesome. I can't do that all the time. But I hope you guys enjoy what we did get. EC3. Essential Character 3. No longer Ethan Carter III. Right here on the Wrestling Epicenter. Don't forget to check out WrestlingEpicenter.com. Hit the notifications bell here on YouTube, as well as subscribe and hit the like button as well. Let YouTube know that we like to get paid. And with that said, let's get to the interview here on WrestlingEpicenter.com.
This is Flip Gordon, and you are in the Wrestling Epicenter.
Ladies and gentlemen, EC3.
Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. Joining us on the Newsmaker line right now is legitimately one of my favorite guys to watch in all of professional wrestling right now. He is Ethan Carter III, EC3. Are you with me, sir?
Well, if I'm one of your favorite guys to watch in the entire world, you should know that Ethan Carter III is no more. EC3 has been replaced by the essential character, but I am doing fantastic on this gloomy day in Tropical Storm Elsa. How are you?
I'm doing great. So how's that going to affect you? Are you heading up to the pay-per-view now to make sure you don't get stuck in the airport?
Absolutely not. I'll be there Last chance I get. So.
That's the
No,
way
we'll
to...
be fine.
All
We'll
right.
be fine.
That's awesome. Well,
It's just like anything, like a couple days ago, they said it was the end of all hurricanes coming to blow Florida off the map again. But of course, the media are just fear merchants and full of lies. It's a tropical storm. There's a nice rain. Maybe a tree or two is going to fall down. We'll be okay. Business will continue. Life will go on.
That sounds wonderful. All right. Well, let's start with this question. I promise this will not be the topic of the interview. It'll be just my one time mentioning it. I know you had a recent health scare. How are we doing right now?
Yeah, about 7 weeks ago, I had a pretty bad infection, cellulitis, and something else. I don't remember. It wasn't great. I was hospitalized, but through grit, determination, and modern medicine, I made it out. Health-wise, the second I walked out of that hospital, I had a date circled, and that date was July 11th, 2021 for Best in the World. And I did everything to make sure I would be prepared. Not only prepared, but better than ever at Best in the World, and I am on course for that. So physically, I look great. With the amount of work I'm putting in, I feel like shit. But that's what happens when you go hard, nonstop. And come July 11th, I'll be one of many facets of Best in the World in professional wrestling.
Absolutely. Ring of Honor, Best in the World, the pay-per-view event, and you'll be taking on a guy you've been having your back and forths with of late on Ring of Honor TV. Of course, I'm talking about Flip Gordon. What are your thoughts as you head into this Friday night's pay-per-view?
You know, I'm intrigued what would have happened between Flip and I as we built to this match had I not had that health scare, because there's a lot of story to tell. There's a lot of differences and similarities in him and I as people that I think could be exploited for some in-depth storytelling. We had minimal interactions on television, but seeing as we tagged and he notably cheated in a match, at the 19th anniversary show, I found out a question I've had: is honor real? When I wrestled Jay Briscoe, I did find out that honor truly is real in professional wrestling. It is not the dilapidated, degrading industry that I thought it was. Honor still exists, and to be honorable is to not cheat. So Flip, I like what he's done with himself. I like he's taking away the things the facetious things, like the actual flips and things of that nature, with people that would clap for him aimlessly but have no context or substance, and he's adding in that substance. So a talent like that is a talent I'm kind of invested in, not only competing with, but showing them the way, showing them to take back control, fight for freedom, find their purpose. As far as that, though, I respect him, and I've been watching him for a very long time. Best in the world, I proved truly that. And to be the best in the world, you have to win.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Free Your Narrative, and that was an event that just took place a couple of nights ago. It was an event that you promoted, you put on yourself. It was your own thing. A couple days away from it, a weekend away from it now, actually. How do you feel it came off?
Free the Narrative is available on Fight TV now. We soft launched it via Vimeo as we figured out exactly what we are and who we are. Critically, anyone who's watched it has changed their perspective on wrestling. I want to present wrestling in a different way. Now, with the pandemic, a lot of things had to change. There was a lot of uphill battles wrestling had to fight when they're not doing the same old, interacting with audiences and things of that nature. And cinematic matches became kind of popular. But I definitely feel they jumped the shark, how they were portrayed. I believe there's an element to storytelling cinematically that can be applied to wrestling that is physical and real. So Free the Narrative was my experiment in that. Breaking down psychology as opposed to commentating, having narrations. It was a daunting project. The people that have seen it loved it. It is still available on Fight TV, and it will have a home there forever. When we put it on Fight, there's actually a very special, extended, top secret ending And all I can say is monstrous to allude to what's next. But Free the Narrative was a very personal passion project between myself and my co-creator, the narrator, Jedediah Kaczynski, and we're very proud of it. And I strongly urge you to check it out on Fight TV.
I absolutely will. I'm looking forward to checking it out, as a matter of fact. And one of the cool things about that is that it seems to blur company lines. Yourself being a Ring of Honor talent, Moose being an Impact Wrestling talent, and Matt Sydal being an AEW talent. They're all involved. So it's not one promotion. It is a whole conglomerate of wrestlers.
Yeah, that is where the wrestling world is kind of going and should go. Like, every wrestling fan knows companies exist and different companies, and the proverbial forbidden door is kind of open, but to see talent be able to interact on a neutral ground with no three-letter corporate branding, where the purpose is them being themselves, finding themselves, creatively expressing themselves, being able to recreate themselves, perhaps if something happened like a firing, where they want a reinvention and re-enlightening. They come to the narrative. The narrative I look at and Free the Narrative, supplemental content to the professional wrestling world that's taking place now. And the door is always open. And when we do this again, there's been a lot of people knocking on that door.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what, you chose Ring of Honor, and a guy like you, as Ric Flair said, looking as only you could look, had to have all the options in the world. I mean, the phone must have been ringing off the hook after your WWE departure. What about Ring of Honor made it the place that you wanted to call home?
We had to remember, too, that when my former corporate wrestling brand
Impact, yeah.
fired me.
Oh, no. WWE, yeah, I'm wrong. Sorry.
In the midst of a worldwide pandemic where there was nothing but questions and zero answers, the wrestling world didn't know what it was going to be. You know, nobody knew anything at that time. So I definitely wanted to keep options open and use that platform. I use my own platform to recreate myself, re-envision myself, be who I'm supposed to be, this essential character. And then to have options, yes, there were options. I did briefly stop by Impact, but Impact was not about me. It was about Moose, because Moose is a talent. And what the essential character sees is talents that don't truly show who they are. So I wanted to bring that out of him. That was my sole reason for returning to Impact. Also to end the name Ethan Carter III, because it serves me no more. Yes, the phone rang elsewhere, but Ring of Honor is something I've never done, and it's a storied brand and a legacy that is reinventing itself. It's finding its own new purpose. It's something that I want to help build and create. I don't want to go somewhere where I'm part of something, just an interchangeable part. I want to go somewhere, create something, build something, make something special happen based on the hard work I could put in.
Absolutely. And your essential character, the new EC3, as you know now, and as you corrected me on earlier in the conversation, it's a more brooding, a darker character. You in the past, you've had a little bit of maybe tongue-in-cheek, a little bit of fun, but this guy is a little more dark, a little bit more introspective, maybe would be the word. Where did the origins of this more brooding character come from?
Well, I mean, if you look at it like this, an entitled wrestler finds their way into their aunt's wrestling company and is given every advantage possible to become something, eventually gets trial by combat, learns under fire, becomes a legitimate, not only contender, but a legitimate world heavyweight champion, takes that legacy, that brand, that top 1%, that gusto, that confidence, brings it to an NXT, succeeds, carrying on that torch, but then when it truly mattered on the main roster, negated, thrown away, injured, concussed, things of that nature. These things have consequences. And then to eventually be fired during a pandemic, like if I showed up as a top 1% somewhere else, that means nothing in this world matters because so much happen to somebody. And when things happen to you, you change and you evolve. So in reality, I changed and evolved. I went through things I preach about, being lied to my whole life, the corporate mentality, the gears in a machine that they make us become, things of that nature. Being able to find yourself, to control your narrative is to tell your story. So that's the evolution.
Very cool.
When things happen to you, if you don't react to them, then did anything truly happen? A lot has happened to me professionally and personally that sparks change.
Very cool, very cool. I'm going to tell you a little story. I got an 11-year-old kid who must have been, I don't know, maybe 9, going on 10. When you went to Target and threw out your own WWE action figure, and he comes to me through the door, he's like, "We got to go to Target." What Target? But what was the reason that you chose to do that? And I mean, was that a part of just showing you're getting rid of the past and you're getting rid of what that was done to you or how you were treated?
As long as you live in the past, you'll forever remain in the past. So if you're shopping at a Target and you see your likeness, your image captured in toxic chemicals made in China, sold for commerce, when something destroyed a part of your soul and took your pride, like, to destroy your past is to truly let everything go. Let that which does not matter slide. As simple as, I don't know anybody that's bought their own action figure and thrown it out. And eventually, I burned one too. So to destroy your past, you must commit. If you're going to do something, go all in. Be bold, be brave, don't stop.
All right. There was one other thing before WWE that I wanted to touch base with, and it was during that time when you were basically done with Impact and you were just about to go to WWE, and you filled in for the master and the ruler of the world, one Sid Vicious, and that was some awesome stuff. I mean, please don't take this as me sucking up, but how in the hell did a company like WWE see a guy who could do virtually anything and not make $1 billion with him?
It's not a question for me. Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. Everything happens for a reason, though.
All right. So we've already seen you have your match with the Briscoes. We've already seen you have your upcoming match with Flip Gordon. Ring of Honor has a great roster, though. Any other opponents in the Ring of Honor locker room that you're looking forward to tangling with?
Yeah, whoever's the World Heavyweight Champion.
Ah, interesting. So maybe Roosh would be the one at the moment that you're eyeing then.
I guess we'll find out this Sunday, live. Ring of Honor, best in the world, on Fight TV.
Absolutely. Well, I want to tell you, I am excited to see this pay-per-view on Sunday. Ring of Honor, one of the best and most pure wrestling shows out there, and I can't wait to see one of your matches as one of the key matches of the show. So, again, Fight TV, Ring of Honor, best in the world. And before I let you go, do you mind if I ask for one last favor from you?
Bring it on, brother.
You probably already know what I'm going to ask, but can I get a station ID
I
from
don't.
you?
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're going to ask, actually. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask for a station ID.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to ask if you could say, this is EC3, and you're listening to the Wrestling Epicenter. And, of course, any spin you want to put on it whatsoever, you're welcome to do so.
All right. 3, 2, 1. This is the essential character EC3, and you are lending your ears to the Wrestling Epicenter. Enjoy.
The preceding announcement was paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
I'm to listen, and if you like what you heard, I'm glad. If you didn't like what you heard, well, go fuck yourself.
Most people done hung up on me.
We had a lovely conversation.
What a show.
Oh, mercy, Daddy.
On your radio dial. Don't hang up. Bye-bye.